Alrighty then, welcome back to Putting the Think in Leadership, and let's talk a little bit about, in this segment, the resonant leader versus the dissonant leader. What does that mean? What is a resonant leader? What is a dissonant leader? And what does it have to do with think leadership? Well, it has everything to do with think leadership. A resonant leader, for example, is someone who builds a positive work climate or work environment. This is someone who's more inclined to empowering the department versus tearing it down. A dissonant leader is not going to be so apt to empowering the team. A dissonant leader is going to be someone who's more likely to create disharmony. I mean, imagine that for a moment. We're talking about a full-grown man or woman who takes pride in bringing about disharmony to the workplace, to the people that are working for him, with him, or connected to him or her. A resonant leader is also going to be someone who is going to be very responsible in their behavior towards their team. In other words, they're more sympathetic, empathetic, more positive, more encouraging, more enlightening with their comments, with their conversations, with their instructions on how to build, create, and restore. The dissonant leader is going to be quite the opposite of that. You name any number of negative things, and that is going to empower a dissonant leader. A dissonant leader is most likely going to be someone who is totally disconnected, not only from the team, but really from him or herself. They're not connected with the real world or real world issues and real life's issues. When there's chaos, they want to be the one that brings about more chaos. But when the chaos becomes medicine as opposed to poison, if you will, they want the credit for bringing the situation to a perfect resolve. No credit is due them, is it? No worthy applause is due them. Wherein a resonant leader embodies everything that has to do with uplifting, upholding. I know I keep using these words throughout the videos, but they perfectly describe, in simple layman terms, the type of leader and the type of think leadership as it relates to a leader that I'm trying to convey in this mini course on putting the think in leadership. I'd like you also to understand that consideration. I'd like you to understand that commitment. I'd like you to further understand that communication, consideration, commitment, and communication. All three elements are a deep, significant part of both the resonant leader and the dissonant leader. The resonant leader, of course, is going to use communication to strengthen the department, to strengthen the community. The dissonant leader, who is disconnected from the world and from himself, herself, is going to use communication to bring about disharmony and discord. Wherein commitment with a resonant leader, that's going to be about committing to the project or to the resiliency of a problem to the very end, in such a way that it's going to enable everybody in that department to take credit for the resiliency that's brought to that form of chaos. The dissonant leader, well, when it comes to commitment, they're committed to themselves and only themselves. There's a leader that comes to mind quite quickly when I think of that. Never mind, I think you know who I'm referring to. My point is, dissonant leaders are all about themselves. They live, speak, breathe, and think me, myself, and I. Now, when it comes to consideration, The resonant leader is extremely considerate before they even begin to chastise or reprimand an employee or someone on staff. They're going to first think about and resolve in their mind how they can communicate their displeasure without to tear down, destroy, and just downright bloody harm that person in the workplace. You see, there's a way to say something and there's a way to say it and bring about harm. So the resonant leader, consideration is important to them. They live and breathe it. It's all about being considerate towards others so that others are considerate towards them. It's all about thinking about how others are going to feel about what they have to say. If they have to lay people off, for example, the resident leader is going to go through great details on how they're going to communicate why they're letting people go, why they're having to do layoffs, why they're not being able in that moment to extend raises on any level. The dissonant leader, on the other hand, is just going to come right out and say it. Whether it's the truth or not, they're going to say it. Whether it produces harmony or not, they could care less. They're simply evolving around their own egoist thoughts and their own egoistic way of life. So a resonant leader, therefore, is someone one could say is positive. As I said in another part of the course, positive thoughts beget positive actions. Negative thoughts beget negative actions. So if I were to put this in simple layman terms, I would simply say to you, when you think of a resonant leader, think positive. When you think of a dissonant leader, think negative. A resonant leader is connected to the people. A dissonant leader is disconnected from the people.